Let me welcome each of you. Tonight we are talking about your new anthology, Pride, Not Prejudice, that you've written with 20-something other authors. And I'm going to read this so I don't miss anyone. Oh gosh, there it is. It's a thick book, guys.
Three
volumes.
Oh my gosh. So with
21 authors.
We're overdoing the thickness. We're bringing it.
So the authors that participated are, of course, Amalie Howard, April White, Camille Duplessis, Cynthia St. Aubin, Darynda Jones, Erica Ridley, Hildy McQueen, Jade Lee, or Kathy Lyons, depending on which way she's going tonight, Jana McGregor, Jennifer Ashley, Mila Finelli, Kerrigan Byrne, Kim Lorraine, Kristen Higgins, Mira Lynn Kelly, Piper Hughley, Robin Peterman, Rosalind James, Ruby Dixon, Sarah Ney, and Claire Rebecca McCarthy. I think I got everyone. So with that many, yes, 3 volumes, huge book, lots of reading. First time I've interviewed 3 of you at a time on Zoom. So we're going to try to do this a little bit round robin. Kathy, Darynda, and Amalie, how did each of you get involved with this anthology?
I got a call from the editor, Tanya, who was lovely, and she said, "You want to be in this?" And my first question was, "When's the deadline?" And she told me the authors who were in it, and I missed the Where Geeks world, and I said, and it might be that someone named Samantha challenged me to write a special cursed hero. And so I had promised Samantha a story, so I had to write it. Whoever
that was years ago. That was years ago.
It's when the first Where Geeks came out, which, there you go. There's the first Where Geeks.
Which I admit, sorry guys, that's why Kathy's was the first story I did read in the anthology. Needed to see how she brought finally this particular were animal to life.
And we see how it is. Now we know. Samantha has favorites.
I had to do a fresh fiction
tag. I love all of you. Come on. Darynda, how did you get involved with the anthology?
Actually, I'm friends with Kerrigan, and she just emailed me and asked me if I would be interested. And I was like, oh my God, I've always wanted to write an LGBTQ story. As I jumped on it, yes. But I will say, deadlines and all of the things, I ended up being super late with, I know everybody's like, no, not you, Darynda, but so mine is probably the shortest one in the whole book, but I had so much fun writing it. I just was very excited.
And Amalie, how did you get involved?
So similar. Kerrigan is a really good friend, and we did an anthology last year, and I remember chatting with her, and she said, we should do a Pride anthology. And I was like, yes, we should. You go ahead and get all the people for that. But I was very excited to be part of it. I think Kerrigan is a force who's the mastermind behind getting all of these fantastic authors together. And I'm just so ridiculously proud to be part of this phenomenal anthology.
One of the things too, and why I always think the romance community is always open to these stories, and because we're always looking for a good story, right? That's always what's important to us. But each of you also encompass that you write a lot of different genres and types of stories. So in writing this, I mean, how did you decide what type of story that you wanted to write, be it the genre that you picked, and then also the main characters?
So I am particularly known for historical romance, writing Victorian or Regency era books. And I wanted to stick as closely as possible to sort of my own personal experience, which is probably TMI, but you know what? It is what it is. So when I wrote this story, it was very personal to me, and I wanted to celebrate love in all, its beauty and its different forms. And so it's called Lady Waverley's Lover, and she is a widow, but at 17, married off, in the Victorian era. She was kind of told this is what you should do. She had no real opportunity to explore her sexuality. And then when her husband died and she did provide the heir, her best friend, who was a bit of she is a very I'll just go over all the lines kind of best friend, which we all need in our lives. And she got her a portrait by a nude portrait by an artist. So of course, my very aloof, reserved Marchioness is like, okay. And she goes and basically she develops this relationship with this artist who's a little bit younger than her, but it's very I like juxtaposing the art with being seen. So every chapter where she paints a little bit more of her, she kind of discovers more of her own identity. And it is spicy and I hope people like it, but that's kind of where I, came up with that idea.
Darynda, what was the inspiration for you?
First, that sounds beautiful. I love how
you.
that unfolds. Wow, that's so cool. For me, it was really weird because when Kerrigan asked, the cool thing was that it could be any genre, it could be any type of relationship. It was just like, it was so cool. It was so open. So we could choose whatever we wanted. And literally, I think it was the exact same day I had this story just popped into my head. It was paranormal. And because I write both paranormal and not paranormal. And yeah, it just, I don't know, it just popped into it. And this billionaire, and for some reason, I don't know, you know how we are, so weird stories pop into our head. And I thought, well, what if this boy fell in love with this other boy? They're in a boys' school. They were into a lot of trouble when they were kids, and what if they grew up separately, totally different, but they were still in love, and they find each other, years later. And of course, something paranormal has to happen. So it was funny when I sent this story in, the editor, and I can't remember who it was, if it was Tanya, was Tanya the editor? I don't remember. Anyway, she wrote Kerrigan and she's like, wow, she fit a lot of story into those 8,000 words. I was running out of time. I had to get the story in there.
Kathy, what was your inspiration?
Well,
Other
you
than
were.
my suggestion,
You were. So years ago when I was challenged to write a gay romance, and I really looked into this world, and I just decided I love shifters and I love funny. So I decided, I really wanted to write the Big Bang Theory and just make the characters into werewolves and fighting big bad paranormal threats. And so I mean, it grew and grew until it became the Were Geeks. And for those of you who don't know, these are the first book is Were Geeks Save Wisconsin. Badass werewolves who are defending the world from paranormal threats realize they need tech support. So they recruit some geeks who recover from being turned into werewolves, and they're like, you have ruined my life, but this is so cool, and you guys are really hot, but you ruined my life. And I actually had a challenge because the first 3 books, I mean, all the books are supposed to be one of those badass werewolves with the geek, but this story actually is 2 badass werewolves. So, oops. So it was supposed to be in the Were Geeks world, but I couldn't think of a title. I'm really bad with titles. The best title I could come up with was Were Geeks Save a Kitten. And so that's what they do, is they save a kitten.
So a perfect opportunity to bring in the Scottish fold kitten. So it is appreciated, yes.
It was quite the challenge, and years later, I still remember Samantha and Sarah, I think, was on that, Lady Sarah, and Sarah Reyes as well. But you were all like, you got to do a Scottish fold kitten. So, yes,
But you know us, we can be like a dog with a bone, and we'll keep after you on some of these things. So, and you all know that personally because I've seen you all at different cons and conferences, so you know how I can be.
Yep. And so the hero has a issue with his shifting. He is cursed, and instead of becoming this vicious, horrible, or this vicious, brutal, very awesome werewolf, he turns into a little kitten with not even a good kitten. It's got the folded puppy dog ears. Those are his words. And so they have to figure out why he's not a werewolf anymore and is instead this embarrassing tiny little kitten.
I do want to touch a little bit on a serious note with you guys because it is Pride Month and all of these stories are LGBTQIA+. Why do you feel so strongly that we need to have these stories available for readers? and I'm saying this in a very general thing to however you want to answer that. But there's still a lot of pushback where people are like, how can you put that out there? I mean, we're still seeing banning of books. Why then did you want to focus, and why do you think these stories are important to go out, and especially in the romance community?
Well, I always have this fear of offending somebody with saying something ignorant, but I'm just going to say my reason is because this should absolutely be normalized. Why is it not? I don't understand. Like, why is it a thing? Why is it a big deal? You know what I mean? It boggles my mind that there are still people in today's day and age who don't get it. But I mean, they just don't get, and they're offended, and they're this and they're that. And I'm not sure I should be saying this, but I know that Kerrigan got a bunch of pushback from that for this. Yeah. And it was just so completely unfair, and some of it was absolutely brutal, and it blows my mind. I don't know. I guess I just thought we lived in a different world than we do, and clearly we don't. But I just, I'm very much an ally. I am always posting stuff, so it amazes me. It amazes me that it's still an issue. I don't get it.
I had to look in, I bought a little rainbow dragon, so, I had to pull him up, but he's not staying on my shelf, so, oh well, he's a really cute little rainbow dragon. There we go. The main thing, so one of the things that my mother emphasized loudly and strongly all through my childhood were the words, "It's none of your business." And so it really, because that was so strong in my childhood. I mean, why do you care how someone else falls in love? I don't care if you love your puppy dog the most in the whole wide world, or your dragon, or your, male lover, female lover. I don't care. Love is beautiful. It was a challenge the very first I had to be challenged to write the very first Were Geeks book. But once I started really exploring into this world, love is love is love, and I write love. So, A, it's love. B, it's, if you're objecting to it, honest to God, it's none of your business. So if you want to celebrate it, read it, enjoy it, celebrate it. If you don't. But don't stop me.
Right.
That was an awesome answer from both of you. I think that everybody deserves to see themselves on page and to see their love stories reflected, whether that's on page or on screen. As Kathy said, love is love. And I just think that, representation matters. Like, it doesn't matter if you're from a marginalized community, just because you might be a little bit different doesn't mean that your stories, your love stories don't matter. They do matter. Everybody matters. Everybody's enough. Everybody's worthy of love, and everybody deserves love, if romantic love, if they want it, and obviously, emotional connections or things like that if you're ace.
And I think, again, the romance community embraces these stories a lot more sometimes than you see in other genres. And of course, we're reading all different types of stories across romance, everything like we were talking about before, historical, paranormal. I've got my Ice Planet Barbarians that I'm reading. And if people can easily accept the relationship with a big horned blue alien or a hell beast, it's like, well, okay, why is this such a barrier? Amalie, since yours is more of a historical setting, did you find additional challenges to incorporate all of the different elements in this?
The really awesome thing about researching historical eras is finding out that people of color, that LGBTQIA+ people did exist. I'll give you an example. Catherine Dulip Singh was a Sikh princess in Victoria's court who was a brown woman who outranked most of the people in that court. And she was also a lesbian, and, was with her partner, who was her governess, until she died, and her ashes were placed next to each other in the same cemetery. And I think when you research things like that and you find it, it's really uplifting, because it means that, we were there, we existed. So I think, and I've said this before, but like, the more questions we ask and the different questions we ask about whether people from marginalized groups existed in those eras, we're going to get different answers. In the past, they were written by a default mainstream, historians, and now we're asking, like I said, different questions. So we're getting answers that show that it was quite diverse. In terms of like LGBTQIA+, it was not against the law for women to be together. It was criminalized for men, so that was a little harder. I was researching that Oscar Wilde, he was put in prison. Like, it was just such a tragic loss for so much talent. You think that would have, you hope that it would be different today, that he could get to love who he wants to love and not be put in a jail and dies 2 years later.
Okay, I'm going to put each of you on the spot. We're not even into the fresh fiction facts yet. Yes, this one's going to be hard. So, other than your story and the other authors that are on this call, which story in the anthology is your favorite or that you thought was the most unusual?
I will start because I've been on deadline. I was up until 5 a.m. I just turned in a book at 5 o'clock yesterday, and I have not got to read any of them. And now I'm dying. I especially want to read these two. Like, they're just, oh my God. So yes. And now I'm free. I'm free for another week. So I'm hoping, yes, that's my goal, is to get to read some of these. I'm so excited.
I managed to read the first paragraph of Jennifer Ashley's and then got pulled off. I'm researching, the 1700s Paris. So it's like I lost my fun reading time.
Kerrigan is awesome because I read everything she writes. Like, she could write the phone book and I'll read it. As long as it has hot werewolf numbers in there. I'm just kidding. What I loved about Kathy's, and I told her this, her chapter headings, it is the most unique thing in all the stories. And I love them. I was giggling reading them. So good job.
And again, I love the variety in the anthology because I've read each of yours, and right now I'm reading, I think it's Mira's, which is a hockey story. And so, I mean, you guys are just hitting all of my go-to genres on a lot of these.
Well, I asked when I got invited, do you want Jade Lee or Kathy Lyons? And the answer was, how about both? And I didn't have time to do both, but I mean, it was very much whatever you want to do. And so given the variety of authors, I was like, cool, there's a little bit there for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's jump into our fresh fiction facts. I'm not going to let you guys off the hook with these. Now, the idea behind these are that they are supposed to be quick, off the top of your head answers. We cover a variety of things. They are not meant to stump, although sometimes it does happen. But I'm going to start you off easy, okay? Kathy. We'll go Kathy, Amalie, and Darynda, okay? So, Kathy, who would you most want to be stuck in an elevator with?
Oh, shoot. Okay. God, I've lost his name. The guy who took over Doctor Who a few years.
Peter Cavelli or
David Pennant?
The showrunner, writer, the guy in charge of it when it came back after the long break.
Stephen Moffat?
Yes, Stephen Moffat. Because he just revitalized an old show. And I really enjoyed, he did 3 Doctors, and I just really enjoyed all 3 of them.
Following Doctor Who is now my sign that my nerd quotient is extremely high. I felt it before I started watching Doctor Who. So, okay. Amalie, who would you want to be in an elevator with?
I would like to be in a Chris Hemsworth, Charlize Theron sandwich. That's it.
Good answer.
What about you?
I'm going to up you a little bit, and I would like all 7 of BTS.
Clearly, I had the wrong
you can't
answer.
take authors anywhere. They take questions and you say one person will take all.
I can handle all of them. It's okay.
Kathy, what is the one luxury or unnecessary item that you cannot live without?
I have an answer, but you can't make fun of me. I really like high-end toilet paper.
After the pandemic, no one is going to make fun of that answer. No worries.
Yeah.
Amalie, how about you?
Mine is my bathtub. I am actually moving. I'm designing. We're building a house from the ground up, and I had to decide what I wanted, and it is this tub. It has no jets, but it's literally so deep. I'm gonna be swimming in it. That's it. That's my relaxation thing. When I have like a bad day or rough writing time, I just go straight to the bathtub with wine and somebody else's amazing words. Heaven.
Darynda, how about you?
I don't know if this counts. I probably could not live without my laptop. I do everything on my laptop. My laptop's everything to me.
I love how she was looking around, like trying to pet it.
Well, I don't consider my phone or my computer a luxury. That's
I know. I was wondering, does this count? I don't know.
Kathy,
yeah,
what is the-
nobody tell people that I said I preferred luxury toilet paper over my tablet.
Listen, that's a great answer.
That's a headline too, right there.
Someone asked what the brand is. It's who gives a crap or it's bamboo.
Oh,
I'll look it up. I just ordered more of it.
soft and environmentally conscious. Look at you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Of course you are. Yes. How do you celebrate a new release?
Who
Yeah.
gives a crap is the name of the company. How do I celebrate a new release?
That's how she's celebrating.
That was her answer.
No, that is the toilet paper company. Who gives a crap.com. No spaces. How I celebrate is honestly, I take a hot bath and I eat, and at some point I take a shower.
Amalie, how about you?
Usually dinner with my family, and that's really nice. It's just kind of like a little milestone, and with my kids, we'll all cheers, and it's really sweet, and I feel really good.
Darynda, how do you celebrate?
It's a cheat day for me usually, and I'll eat something I probably shouldn't.
What is your most dog-eared copy of a book? The book that you go to over and over again. And it could be a nonfiction reference book. Hopefully,
I need to get
it's a
mine.
wonderful fiction book. Kathy?
Oh God. I grew up on the Narnia Chronicles. And in fact, I have an English degree. And so my undergraduate degree is on that series, or my undergraduate thesis was on that series. And I always read Voyage of the Dawn Treader over and over and over. And I actually haven't looked at it in a while, but I still remember, it's like I remember every word. So.
Wow. Okay, Amalie, you're back in your chair.
I had to get up and go get mine for proof. Look at this thing. It is so damaged.
Oh, yeah.
It's got tape on it, like it's falling off. I think I stole it from some girl in high school because that's her name. It's not my name, but it's mine now. But anyway, look at it. I love it. I love it.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
Judith
I'm going to
McNaught.
get that answer to her. I have somebody who knows her, so I'm going to
Oh,
let her know.
awesome.
Okay, Darynda, what's yours?
Huge Judith McNaught fan too. Oh my God, that woman can write. Mine, I actually have two. I'm gonna cheat. The Duke and I by Julia Quinn is one that I just go back to over and over and over. And Envy, for some reason, Envy by Sandra Brown. It's just, those two are I just have to read or listen to those about once a year.
If there is a book release and a movie or TV release of the same story, which do you do first? Are you a book first or a movie first?
Depends on the story. If it's, there's genre. I mean, if it's horror, well, I probably wouldn't watch it. I will read the book if it's in a genre I love. If it's not, I'll just watch the movie, and then maybe I'll get to the book, maybe I won't.
That is a brilliant answer. I was trying to think of like what I would do, and I would do exactly the same thing. I was going to say I'm a book person first, but a good example is Fight Club. I saw that movie before I went and got the book. I also saw Dexter before I went and read the book. So it depends.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same for me too. Yeah. Yeah, it depends. If it's not a genre that I don't normally read, and then I'll definitely, and then if I end up loving the movie or the series, then I'll go back and read the book. So yeah.
Okay, you've been kidnapped, but they return you 2 hours later because you won't stop talking about what?
Hemsworth and Charlize Theron in my elevator.
BTS.
Dorinda, I had a feeling you might say
Yeah,
that.
BTS.
Yeah,
We're so
it's a very
shady. I
accurate
love it.
answer to
We're
this
so
question.
shady.
I will talk, there are several topics I will talk a lot about, but I will talk about the romance genre forever.
Nice.
And why my kidnappers ought to read romance.
Okay. Amalie, do you want to add on to?
Look, she's trying to like, don't derail me from my love affair in this elevator. Like, I'm kidding. I would probably be talking about, I don't know, food. I love food. But you know what? They'd keep me because, yeah, I would probably make something for them and not poison them. So, you know, maybe.
So
Food.
why you just wouldn't hit that annoyance level at all?
I don't know. I might. Sometimes it could be a voice thing, you know, if I don't deepen it enough.
Okay.
Like this.
Oh. Okay, I'm a little bit scared to ask this next question. Kathy, what is the craziest thing that you have bought online?
Well, it wasn't online at the time. I'm old enough to do mail order. So when I was a new bride, my husband really wanted to watch basketball. He loved watching basketball. Well, I was feeling neglected, so I ordered something from Fredericks of Hollywood. Who remembers that store? And I put it on and I came parading out and I was like, da, 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 da. And he goes, oh my God. And I was like, honey, did you see that shot? And then he looks at me and he goes, oh, well, you're great too, but look at this shot. So I got so mad that I changed into some sports clothes and I went and I started playing racquetball. And those people who know me well, I actually ended up climbing the ranks in racquetball. So, you know,
it's all due to Fredericks of Hollywood and that.
Yep. It was a short Roman toga-like thing.
That's awesome.
TMI?
I was going to say, my answer is what everyone is thinking in this book club. I see you. But it's in addition to that, the nicest thing I've probably gotten is my husband is Australian and I ordered some like these little biscuits. They're called like barbecue shapes that he loves. And I ordered it from Australia and the box came completely smashed and he still ate it.
Oh.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Right, now that's the sweetest, but what's the craziest?
Oh, the craziest. Okay,
I
I
know
ordered,
there's
I
gotta be
ordered a
something
corset.
crazy.
I'm sorry. I did it. I don't know where that was going over my boobs. I did not do like the measurements right. And I got stuck in it because it had metal closures. And then I had to call my husband to come get me out of this corset, which I will never wear again ever. But it's really pretty.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Yikes.
I did that. I ordered a corset online.
Okay, Darynda.
Okay, well, this is going to date me, and this is before online as well, but mail order. If you guys remember the backs of comics, and they always had those spy glasses so you could see through anything. I saved up my money. I ordered those spy glasses, and like back then, I think they were like $2, and that
I
was
love
a
it.
lot of money. Again,
Lot of
dating
money, yes.
myself.
And you had to get your parents to write the check.
Yep. And they didn't work at all. I couldn't see through anything. I was quite disappointed. And I learned, and I also ordered those little
The sea monkeys?
Sea monkeys, yes. I don't know what that was. There was something swimming around in there and I was in love with them. And we went on vacation and I had my brother feed them and it overfed them and killed them all. I don't know what they were, but yes, this shows
They're like shrimp, aren't they?
Are they? I don't know.
Like this is like brine shrimp or something?
Yeah, a special breed of shrimp.
And it's a powder and they just come to life. It's amazing. But they did not, like in the picture, they didn't have like a little kitchen and sit there in their little living room with all of the, yeah, it was nothing like that.
Gosh. Kathy, what do you own a ridiculous amount of?
Leggings, short ones, long ones, multicolored ones, I have ones that look like candy cane stripes. I've got, I mean, I have a problem.
Amalie?
Bath bombs. I have them all.
Nice.
Huge box.
Darynda?
Bags, purses. I'm a bag hoe. I have so many. Every time I go on vacation, I will go. The last time my sister and we drove up to Idaho and went around to Washington and we did a Twilight Festival and it was so much fun. And I mean, on that trip, I think I bought like 3 or 4 bags and I just kept changing and kept, oh my God, I have a problem. I'm on medication and in therapy. So
That made me think of like Confessions of a Shopaholic,
great.
where she's like, they're telling her, you can't go in that store.
Yeah, don't open that particular closet because who knows what's going to come out. And
Right.
yes,
Yes.
yes, completely understand.
I have a drawer that is just leggings. Like this is the black drawer. This is the capri drawer. This is the drawer for, subtle colors. This is the drawer for bright colors. Yes, I have a problem.
I'm just glad none of you answered books.
I also have that. It feels
kind
like
of
it's a
figured
default
that's the
answer.
default,
It feels
right?
like it's the default.
That's a
Yeah.
given, right. I think that's a given.
That's the answer we can all relate to.
Right,
without a doubt.
right, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to end our Fresh Fiction Facts with an easy question for each of you. What is the best way for readers to keep in touch with you and see what's next?
So I have a newsletter, a regular newsletter. You can get to it off my website. You can go to kathylyons.com or jadeleeauthor.com because Jade Lee is also a porn star who is not me. So it's jadeleeauthor.com. Google your pen name first. Anyway, I have a newsletter. You can sign up for my newsletter there.
Amalie?
Oh, I'm just Amalie Howard at most places on Facebook and TikTok. I'm Amalie Howard author. Also have a newsletter, which you can get to on my website, amaliehoward.com. And please send me pictures of Chris Hemsworth and Charlize. And I apologize for saying those names so many times, but they are really
Why would you apologize?
beautiful human beings.
Okay.
They are.
I agree.
And Darynda?
Just Darynda.com. You can sign up for my newsletter. I also, my Facebook group, I'm pretty active in that. They're the Grimlets. So that's always fun. And just like Amalie, BTS pictures are always welcome. Always.
Oh, you're going to get so diluted now. I'm just going to delude
That
you.
is okay. That is
Luge.
okay.
And I lied about that being the last question.
Yay.
Sorry. What can we expect from you next? What is your next book? Because we love you and we're always wanting to know what are we going to get from you next.
It's not scheduled yet, but I have the Lords of the Masquerade series by Jade Lee has 6 books, and there is one last heroine there who has not found the love of her life. And so that will be coming. And no, I don't have a title, and no, I don't have an exact release date, but I
We'll be on the lookout.
There you go.
Amalie, what's up for you?
Yeah, my next book is Never Met a Duke Like You. It's the sequel to, the next book in the Always Be My Duchess series with Forever. So it's got, the whole series is pitched as rom-coms, 90s rom-coms told as historical novels. So this one's Clueless, which I know Clueless is technically a remake of Emma. So it's kind of like a little bit of mashup of those two. And, I hope people like it because I really, really enjoyed writing it. And my hero is a nerdy paleontologist. So yeah, he has bones. He knows bones.
Anything STEM, I appreciate. So that's okay. Darynda, how about you?
So the one I just turned in was 1001 Dark Nights. The next one called The Grave Robber. and that comes out in September. And then what's due next, and I don't have a release date either, but it's called Rumor and Innuendo, and it's the first of a new trilogy. Her name is Rumor, and her mother dies, and her estranged mother dies, and she ends up inheriting all of this stuff in this crazy town, and it's small town mystery set in New Mexico. So no paranormal.
That's what I was going to ask. Straight mystery, not
Straight
okay.
mystery like Sunshine, only a different
Okay.
trilogy. Yeah.
Since you had me the entire Sunshine of like, wait a second, how's this going to tie into Charlie and Reyes? What?
Exactly right.
Well, authors, thank you so much for joining us tonight and talking to us about the anthology and having some fun with our fresh fiction facts. But stick around for our after hours happy hour with our readers, where they will be able to ask you some questions directly. So thanks a lot for tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you, Samantha.